Hi everyone, my name is James Peterson, and today we're going to talk about writing email to your instructors. But these guidelines aren't just for school. The same guidelines apply in business. We're going to talk about four things: the three-part email, salutations, email closings, and subject lines. Let's start with the three-part email. This is a very common email organization and can be used in a variety of business situations. Part 1 of your email, the first paragraph, describes the context and then the key point. The key point is the reason for writing the email. What's the problem? What do you want me to do? Now, you need to recognize that I might receive 25 emails in a day. For me to understand the key point, I need to understand the context. When I'm reading one email after another, I'm jumping from one topic to the next. I need to know what you're talking about. Now, at the beginning of the course, I don't know you, so the context may simply be, who are you? What class are you in? Later on in the course, I will know you, so the context might change to, what project are you talking about? So paragraph 1 should always contain your key point. What do you want me to do? But for me to understand your key point, I need to understand the context. Part 2 of the email is the extra details. Some emails don't need extra details, so this part can be omitted. However, some requests are more complex, so you might need a list or a paragraph to explain those details. Part 3 is the relationship close. Remember that communication always has two functions: communicating information and maintaining a relationship with people. Parts 1 and 2 of your emails are all about information, but part 3 is about the relationship. This is where you'll say thank you. Thank you for your help, or have a great weekend, or I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Let's take a look at a sample email. So to Tammy Lee, CC, BCC, you can Google what that means. Subject, I don't have a team. And if we look at this email, it says, "Hi Tammy, my name is Jorge Sanchez and I'm in your COM 1100 class OPMT 1A. I saw that you posted a list of all of the teams, but I don't see my name on the list. Could you let me know which team you would like me to join? Thank you for your help with this. Have a great weekend, Jorge." So if you take a look, part 1 of the email is this first paragraph right here, and this shows the context and the key point. Now the key point is here. I don't see my name on the list. Could you let me know which team you would like me to join? It's very clear what this student wants me to do. Now, for me to understand this, I need to understand the context. And here's the context. So this context tells me who the student is and what class the student's in. So my name's Jorge Sanchez, and I'm in your COM 1100 class OPMT 1A. I saw that you posted a list of all of the teams. So the context also shows the topic of the email. Now, if we take a look here, we can see extra details. Well, there actually aren't any extra details. So let me just say this, is don't add extra details unless you need to add extra details. Now we come to the final section, part 3, the relationship close. And this is where you say, thank you for your help with this. Have a great weekend. So in the three-part email, part 1 goes from the context to the key point, and part 3 is the relationship close. Part 2 is extra details, but if you don't need extra details, don't add extra details. So let's take a look at another example. So here we have another email to CC, BCC. Have you Googled this yet? Here we have the subject, Access to Learning Hub, and Dear Professor Lee, I'm a student in your OPMT 1100 class in the International Business Management Program, Set 1B. I understand from your class today that we have homework due tomorrow. Unfortunately, I don't have access to your Learning Hub page yet. I just joined the program yesterday. Could you give me access to your Learning Hub page? Here are my details, and then here the students provided their full name and their student ID number, program, and set. If there are any issues, please let me know. Thank you so much, Amy. So this is a good email. Part 1 goes from the context to the key point. Here's the key point. I don't have access to your Learning Hub page yet. The problem is very clear. Could you give me access to your Learning Hub page? The request is very clear. And here's the context. I'm a student in your OPMT 1100 class in the International Business Management Program. The context helps me understand the problem and the request. Now let's go to the next section, the extra details. And here the student needs to make a guess about what information I need. Now this student has guessed correctly. I need the student's full name. I need their ID number to give them access. Now sometimes you'll guess right and sometimes you'll guess wrong, and that's okay. But the idea is to try to think what information your audience needs and try to give them the information that they need. And the final section is the relationship close. If there are any issues, please let me know. Thank you so much. So let's take a look at another example. So in this email, I can see to, CC, BCC, and subject, request for a meeting. One thing that's different is I can see under CC, I can see 4 email addresses here. And the email starts, hello, Tammy. Part 1 starts with the context and then moves to the key point. So here's the context. My name is Parminder Kaul, and I'm in your COM 1100 class for OPMT Set 1B. And here's the key point. My team was hoping to meet with you next week for 20 minutes on Zoom to discuss the team project. It's very clear what this student wants. And now I can see that this student is writing on behalf of the team, and the other team members are CC'd here. So part 2 is the extra details. And in this email, there are a lot of extra details. They've actually included 2 lists. So we have 2 things we would like to discuss. One of our team members, JD Flipper, hasn't come to any classes since the start of term, and we're not sure how to proceed. We have a few questions about the appendices in the report. We were hoping to show you what we have created and get your feedback. So I really like this kind of list. The topic of the meeting is very clear. I can actually prepare for the meeting. In the second list, we are available to meet as follows, Wednesday, and it shows all of the availability that this team is available. So I like it that they've given me a variety of times and I can select a time. And part 3 of the 3-part email is the relationship close. Please let me know if any of these times are convenient and I will send you a Zoom invite. Thank you for your help. We look forward to meeting with you. What I like about this email is that it's very easy for me to respond. I know what this team wants to talk about and I know when they are available. I also like that this student has CC'd his teammates. I can simply reply to everyone on this email with, sure, let's meet on Wednesday at 2:30. This student has made it easy for me. So that's the 3-part email. This is a common email style that you will use in school and in business. Let's move on to the next topic. Salutations. Salutations are the little greetings at the top of the email. When I look at all of the emails I receive, by far the most common salutation is, hi James. This is the same from colleagues, from students, from others. Next is hello James. Dear James is still used, but I don't see it in any of my recent email history. Perhaps I'm not so dear. Dear is used more in formal emails. I do see a few hey James in my email box. This seems to be getting more common, but it feels a bit too informal for business. Perhaps I'm showing my age, but I would avoid this. That said, 10 years from now, it might be perfectly acceptable. I'll update my video then. Now, I know that some students may find it awkward to use the instructor's first name. If you feel uncomfortable, you can use last names such as Dear Mr. Peterson or Dear Miss Lang. Hello, Mr. Peterson. Hello, Miss Lang. Dear Professor Smith, hello Professor Lang. Now I know some students show deference by saying the title rather than the name. Dear Professor, hello sir, dear Madam. Each instructor has their own cultural style, but I think using names is common. Perhaps Canadian culture was influenced by the Dale Carnegie book from 1936, and Dale Carnegie wrote, remember that a person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. To summarize, let me just say this is really about risk. Most people intend to treat people with respect and try to show it in their language. These phrases here are pretty low risk to use with your instructors. Hello, James. Hi, James. Hello, Mr. Peterson. Dear Professor Lang. And if you're communicating to a large group, you can use hello, everyone, or hi, all. Let's move on to the next section, email closings. With email closings, part 3 of your email, the relationship close is often sufficient for closing your email. I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Amy. Thank you for meeting with us earlier. I really appreciate your help. Amy. Many thanks. Amy. You can show your personality with your closing, sometimes simply by changing the punctuation. My closings typically end with a comma. Thank you for your help with this. Have a great weekend. Some people are a bit more cheerful and use an exclamation mark. Standard closings are sometimes added. Common closings are cheers, best regards, regards sincerely. So you end with your part 3 relationship close. Thank you for your help with this. Have a great weekend. And then the standard close, best regards, Amy. If I look at my email inbox, maybe 20 to 30% of emails I receive have a standard closing. I think these closings are used more frequently in formal emails. Let's move on to subject lines. The subject line is shown here. I don't have a team. With subject lines, you have 3 choices. State the topic, state the problem, why are you writing, or state the request, what do you want? In the subject line, you need to balance 2 things. You want to clearly communicate, and you want to maintain the relationship. To clearly communicate, state the problem or the request. But if you think this will negatively affect the relationship, state the topic. Let's take a look at an example. This is an email that we looked at earlier. Hi Tammy, my name is Jorge Sanchez, and I'm in your COM 1100 class, OPMT 1A. I saw that you posted a list of all the teams, but I don't see my name on the list. Could you let me know which team you would like me to join? So if you're writing subject lines, if you state the topic, the subject might be teams for team projects. Now this is a little bit vague, but it's okay. If you're writing a subject line that states the problem, the subject might be, I don't have a team. Actually, I like this subject line. It's very clear. If you state the request, the subject line could be, please add me to a team. It's clear. Is it too direct? Maybe a bit. I think I like subject line number 2 the best. I don't have a team. The purpose of the email is clear, and I'm not offended. So the key point for subject lines in an email, communicate the objective of your email as clearly as possible while maintaining the relationship. To conclude, let me just say writing is never finished. It's never perfect, but you can't sit in front of your computer hesitating forever. At some point, you just have to give up. Press send. What you're aiming for is good enough for business. Your email needs to be clear. I need to know what you want. It should be concise. I don't have time to read a long email. You need to have appropriate tone. I shouldn't be offended. And the email needs to look professional. Get rid of grammar and spelling errors or inappropriate language. Avoid all of the abbreviations that are common in text messages, LOL. And of course, don't be reactive or write an angry email. Remember that your emails are permanent. To write good enough emails quickly, think of the 3-part email structure. Part 1 is context to key point. Part 2 is extra details. And Part 3 is relationship close. Salutations. You don't need to get fancy. 70% of the emails I receive start with, Hi James. If you prefer, Hello Mr. Peterson. Email closes. Remember to maintain the relationship. Simply saying, thank you, have a great weekend. And subject lines. State the topic, the problem, or the request. So just a final word. Email's never perfect. Writing is never finished. Be happy with good enough. Don't let a desire for perfection prevent you from communicating. Follow the guidelines in this video and learn to write good enough emails quickly.